life did not get easier at all after 5. Like, it just got harder, and so many things happened, and I went through ups and downs. But through it all, like, Jesus was there for me. He was like my best and my truest friend. Like, I got friends, I lost friends, but he stayed there constantly through it all. And like, I went off the right path so many times, and it's just like he was always there pulling me back. So like, just that relationship and knowing he's always there no matter what happens, no matter how many things change in life, he's still there. So yeah, that just became like an essential part of my life. I don't see my life without it after that. Yeah, so it's an honor to do this, and my name is Ofrah. I'm 19 years old. I was born in Jerusalem, and I grew up on a small, tiny little farm in South Africa. Spent like most of my life there and moved to the US like literally 3 months ago.
When did you realize that something was wrong in your life, and maybe what did you place your hope in prior to knowing Jesus?
I grew up in a Christian family, so like, reading Bible every day, church every Sunday. My dad was like a lay preacher. So I grew up knowing about Jesus, but like not personally knowing him. So I guess I could probably say I put my faith before coming to Jesus. I probably put my faith in like my family's faith, like in the fact that my family was Christian, and that's just the way I grew up.
And when did you first start to experience Jesus pursuing you and inviting you into relationship with him?
When I got to around 5 years old, I started to realize that like that wasn't going to be good enough. I know it was 5, so I wasn't like, super bright and everything and thinking about things, but I was thinking about things, and I was just like, this is not going to be good enough, when I get older, to just say, my parents believed in Jesus, so I believe in Jesus. It was more like something that God was stirring in my heart, and also like my family life was sort of challenging. So, I was just like considering, is this really real for me? Do I really believe in this for me, not just because my parents believe it?
Did you experience any challenges or struggles or face anything like that as Christ began to open up your heart?
Yeah, so being like 5 years old, it was pretty simple for me. I didn't have all those, philosophical questions about why this and why that. But I did have the challenge of being like the preacher's kid. So it was like, you grew up in this Christian home, and your dad's a lay preacher, and you're in church every Sunday, you're doing Bible study every Wednesday, you're reading the Bible every day. So you feel like you need to know everything. Like, you feel like you're supposed to automatically have a good relationship with God. So I know that was challenging for me around that time period, just thinking like, I should be good on this. I shouldn't be having to think about this and go through this.
And what was so compelling about Jesus, and maybe why did you finally say yes to his authority and kingship in your life?
I probably, for my whole life, since I can remember, I would have experienced like God's goodness and God's love. So like, we were a missionary family, so life was like difficult for us, and like how many times God came through and like provided for us and stuff. I can remember that happening for as long as I can remember, like 2, 3 years old. And then, even being that young, we had a difficult family life, parents not getting along and stuff. So even being 5 years old, I still remember thinking about God as being like a good, caring, providing father, because I didn't really have that father figure in my life. Even though my dad was there, he was not like there, like in my life. So, like, just to know that God was that for me was like really attracting me to God, like, pulling me closer and towards Him.
Did saying yes to his invitation and his stirring in your heart and inviting you into that deep, intimate relationship with him, did that cost you anything?
It actually did not. No, like my pride, basically, like admitting that I wasn't, right, and I wasn't like on the right path automatically. That would have been a little bit of pride that it cost me. But like to say to my family, I wasn't right with Jesus. On the outside, it looks like it, but no, I wasn't. Like, I only accepted him now. Yeah, that would have been a little bit of pride. But other than that, like, no, it was the best choice I made.
How would you define how your identity has changed since saying yes to Jesus?
Just like having that relationship with him, like immediately after accepting Jesus, I was like so excited to go tell everybody. Like, I literally called my whole family, even in the furthest parts of South Africa, just to let them know, about what had happened. And then, like, life did not get easier at all after five. It just got harder, and so many things happened, and I went through ups and downs. But through it all, like, Jesus was there for me. He was like my best and my truest friend. Like, I got friends, I lost friends, but he stayed there constantly through it all. I went off the right path so many times, and it's just like he was always there pulling me back. So, like, just that relationship and knowing he's always there no matter what happens, no matter how many things change in life, he's still there, just became like an essential part of my life. I don't see my life without it after that.
How does your relationship with Jesus affect your life now?
Well, yeah, like just, I'm at that young adult stage of life where you've got like temptations flying at you all the time and so many choices to make, even like where to go, what to do, all those big things. And it's just like Jesus is there. So it's just like, Jesus, what do you want me to do? Like, what do I do here? What's the right thing to do here? And just like having somebody to guide you, because like I'm all alone here, so having Jesus is like the most important thing, because no matter what happens, I know I can get through it, and I know somebody is going to show me what to do.
Who is Jesus to you?
Number one, he's like my savior. Like, he saved me from going down the wrong path in life so many times and like ultimately going to hell. And then he's my friend, and he's like my dad. Yeah.
Ofrah, thank you for sharing your story.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.